This conference will now be recorded.
Hello? He'll answer. Hi, Joe.
Just tell.
No. Where's yours? Oh, good. Oh, you're on the computer. Okay. Oh, are you staying in there? Okay. Oh, okay. I thought you had the iPad. Nope. Hey, Joe. I hear somebody.
Yeah. Sure. I don't see them. I don't see the, what do you call it, Eileen? I don't see her telephone number though.
Morning, Joe.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Hi, Joe.
Hello.
Hey Joe, do you have Jerry on? I have her in the lobby and I put her on her phone, but I don't see it showing up here.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not the moderator. Kate was the one who set up the meeting, so I have no power to address.
Okay, but you don't.
I can hear Joe.
Oh, she can hear us.
Perfect.
I hear you.
All right.
Awesome. And so everybody, I ask when you're not talking to mute your microphone, because that's huge, because we all have background noise going on for all of us. So I will do the same thing, but I have no power to mute people's microphones. And the way you do that on GoToMeeting, just move your cursor and you can watch what I'm about to do. I'm moving it to the bottom left and I'm gonna mute myself. Get ready. Now I'm back. So there you go. So if you move your cursor on your mouse, you can kill off your volume, which is that little microphone on the bottom left. And so I'll do it again just to show you. I'm moving my mouse right now, and now I'm about to do it again. To the extent you can do that yourself, that would be great, because that allows us to not have any phone calls or emails or other, I shouldn't say emails unless they pop up like mine do where they make noise. but nevertheless, that's great. So I'm going to give it a couple more, at least another minute or so, see if anybody else shows up, and then we'll move forward with our agenda. Everybody doing okay?
Yep,
Good.
I'm trying to mute my mic. Oh,
you're fine.
Somebody else.
I'm trying to mute my mic and it won't do it.
Okay, Kathleen, no worries. We'll just hope that we get the quietness from your side. But it's
Okay.
no worries. We'll just do the best we can. But to the extent others can mute, that'd be great. We're cool. All right, great. I am counting me, Jim, Mary, Peter, Kathleen, Ray. So I think we now have, and caller 02. Who's caller 02?
Jerry.
Oh, fantastic.
Jerry,
Fantastic. That's great.
can you
Hello,
hear me,
class.
Joe?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. You're doing great. Okay, perfect. We now
Okay.
have a quorum. So I'm seeing our secretary is here as well with her microphone muted. So I will call the meeting to order. Thank you for all for coming. And to the extent other folks join us, that's great too. And we'll move from here. Discussion of the June minutes. Does anybody have any changes or modifications to the June minutes? Hearing none, can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So approved.
Peter, second? Okay, Mary,
Second.
thank you.
Mary's waving.
I got a hand from Mary. That works. Awesome. So we now have approval of our June minutes. Mather Center report. Beth.
Okay, we're nice and busy here. Judy resumed doing our lunch program, and happily there are over 40 people participating, which is wonderful. There wasn't a big drop off from the when it was complimentary. She's doing more of a dinner since we will be on channel 79, just to let folks know if you're a Darien resident. And the meal is a wonderful value at $5. We're getting rave reviews. It's a full dinner now with a dessert as well. The directions basically are to call the week ahead. Menu is online for people to be able to see it. They don't have to order 5 Monday through Friday. They can pick which meals they want. And it's basically the drive-through lunch, the same kind of routine we were using before, in which people line up at 11:45. There's a sign, and now the other staff is back, the 2 building attendants, so they're helping pass out the lunches. Now I'm not by myself anymore. So that is something that definitely, if people want to take advantage of it, you have to, if you're still apprehensive about shopping, it's a full dinner for, if you do every day, it's for $25 a week. So it's a good deal as well. And we're hearing rave reviews from everyone who's been participating, and they're going to be spreading that word among their friends as well. We're working on, actually Jerry's on this call, on not a telephone reassurance program, but a telephone activity program, which is going to be with brain teasers and jokes and all that sort of stuff for folks that have no technology other than a telephone. So we're trying to we have about 5 or 6 seniors identified as leaders to do this. And then we're doing a kind of a informal survey, which we have to do over the phone because these folks don't have technology, to find out how many people want to participate. It's a way of keeping people engaged and finding out, how everybody's doing without promising like a service, more like an activity to take people's minds off of what's going on. We are, if that's possible, I am meeting every month with 169 senior center directors from our agency CASP. And we are in contact with the commissioner, so we know sort of which direction the governor might be going with our protocols. We here, the 14 town senior center directors are actually meeting today to discuss what the protocols are right now. We're very supporting one another because we don't want to we're not calling it reopening. We're even calling it like phasing up, because reopening kind of defines that we're opening the way we were before. And we won't be opening the way we were before until we're in phase 4. And we're still in phase 2. We've been put back to phase 2. So we're all looking at how we would scale up on phase 3, which would look a little bit like there would be one morning program in 133. That room would have to then be locked and disinfected. It wouldn't be able to be used for another day. We're only going to be using the first floor. These are kind of like examples of things we're discussing. Nothing is permanent yet. Because the protocols for cleaning are very aggressive, understandably, and everything would be done by reservation. So I'm going to give an example. Suppose we were going to have Art Gottlieb's history lecture. The room we would use that we normally could put 40 people in, we only can put 12 because there's 113 square feet of distance that has to be between people. We only could have to do that by reservation. It would be Darien residents as priority, first as priority. So those are some of the things that we've been talking about in terms of getting ready for this. The other thing is I'm ordering, because of Public Works and our facilities supervisor of buildings, with their good advice, to make sure we have enough protocol, our own kind of PPE for each room. That we would not be using the second floor at all as an entrance, only the first floor. That there would be, maybe for seniors, there still might be the fever scan beside a survey. Make sure everybody's okay when they come in. So if we open this incremental way, it still will be with a lot of protocol as part of it. So that's what we're working on now, which it's a daunting task, but it's so nice that the 14 of us are wanting to help one another, and we're not competitive in any way, shape, or form. And we also will probably open just only to our towns to begin with, just because of contact tracing. That might be a requirement. It's not that it would be like that forever, but until they really have a handle on contact tracing, it's another way for them to be able to, keep this as contained as they can. So it's kind of the lion's share of like what I'm doing at this particular point in time. We're going to be hiring a new program specialist. We had a little bit of a backlog. HR director has a little family commitment because those are still coming up. So our interview process is going to be pushed back to the week of the 27th. We got very good candidates, so I'm really hopeful, but I don't think that person will probably be on board before September. So we'll see how that absolutely works out. And the other task is, and we were starting this before Marcy left, was to make a real virtual senior center with the appropriate platforms and how we would teach people and how we would get the word out. So we had done a constant contact software to do email blasts. She had sent out 637 to 637 Darien residents that are active here, and got a response from about 32 people. So we're going to have to get around, this will be the task of the next person with me, to see that we can advertise how much stuff is still going to be online, how much things will be on Zoom, or that we point them to other websites or to YouTube for the people that are technologically savvy. Getting tremendous amount of phone calls now with people that are very interested about reopening. I'm doing a lot of referring for our non-residents to their specific cities and towns, because we all have different access to different programs and things. So I want them to go where they need to go to take advantage of the things that are being offered to them, namely in the cities. Stanford and Norwalk have a little more federal support than we do. So they need to explore this, and their directors are doing a phenomenal job. So there's some of that, my energy has to go to that too, because I don't want to not serve people. I just want to make sure that they know the proper place to go to get the best. What's the best now? There's affinity calls with the state every week for the Department on Aging. That's being managed by Maria Allen, the executive director of the Southwest Connecticut Area Agency on Aging. And that's about all breadth of service. So there's, Allie's on, I see Allie. I recommended Allie. I'll be going off that board soon, because I did my many years that I can do, and I'm recommending Allie to be the next person that goes on. So she'll be getting the direct information from them too. But I'm sharing anything that is related to human services as it's appropriate. And of course, she can always have access because she's municipal agent. She could go on whenever she wants to. Um, and I did go on an AARP conference, coming together while living apart. I don't know if Peter's going to speak to it. It was very well done. And they're working on making more or coming up with more panel conferences like that to do remotely, because there's a lot of good suggestions that are coming out of this more collaborative approach to things. So it's kind of great that we're not siloing in this time, because we all need the support too. And it's wonderful also to be inspired by so many passionate people with incredible work ethics in this field, because it's just something to be awed. And I'm going to send this to Joe after the meeting. I just got it. I don't know if anybody know who Peaches Quinn is. I think she's got a great name. She's the president of the Connecticut Coalition on Aging. And there's going to be on Friday a town hall that she's monitoring. She's a public health person, all about the effects of COVID in the state of Connecticut. So she's done all of these studies, and she's going to do the presentation of the culmination of them. I think it's going to be at 10 o'clock on Friday. So I'll send Joe the link, and he can send it to everybody if there's anyone that would like to be in on that. I just got that like moments ago. So I gotta say, our state's been really doing a wonderful job at trying to keep us safe and staying on top of this thing. So let's see if we get through the summer with visitors. So that's it for me.
Hey, Beth,
Yes.
it's Mary. I just wondered, do you have a plan? One of the things I think that I experienced in, reopening was that we really had to be very clear and very cautious about how we explain things to people, the protocol, et cetera, so that they felt comfortable coming back. That's a big challenge.
Well, I will tell you, Mary, I will say that there's a group of folks, because I talked to, and I'm not exaggerating, I probably a week about 100 people, different people. There are people that would come in here naked if I let them, because they can't wait to be back with other people.
Right.
And then there's people that need to be hermetically sealed, and they should probably stay home a little longer.
Right.
So I think we're going to deal with it as we're going to be the what is it? The compliance officers is what they're calling them in church. So we're going to have a compliance officer. That's why we're only going to use the front door of the Mather Center. Everybody's going to go through the same kind of protocol, and we're actually going to follow people through the building to make sure people stay masked. We're not going to do exercise programs immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're going to have it's going to be funny. There's going to be those that'll be afraid to come back, but I'm more challenged by those that are going to come in and say, we're back, and be enthusiastic and want to do everything. Because there's even things believe it or not, no mahjong, no cards, no puzzles. You can't have any high touch things. It's this, the list, because you've been part of it. So I'm thinking we're going to have a balance of people, those that have to be cautious and should be cautious, and those that just can't wait to get back and see another human being.
Right.
Intentionally.
It's a challenge. That's a challenge to communicate all that.
For sure.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks, Mayor.
Any other questions or comments for Beth? Hearing none, we'll turn it over to Allie, Human Services.
Good morning. So some of these things I might have mentioned last month, but we participated in the SWACA grocery bag delivery for the month of June. We've delivered to 20 vulnerable households, seniors in town. They love the program. It was all fresh produce and fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, fruit, whatnot. But that came to an end, and that was very successful. Our renters rebate program is well underway. We started June 1st, and we continue to be able to manage our my department, without having people come into the office. So for instance, for renters rebate, Diane Barston will speak to the residents and collect whatever information she needs, or she'll gather the information, and then we have them come to our building, stay in their car, and then one of the staff from Human Services will run out and go back and forth, whatever's necessary. And it's working. So it's good to keep our seniors out of a public building. So that will continue the renters rebate through the end of September. Last year, we had a total of 40 residents approved with a total of $23,181 worth of grants that they received. Let's see, energy assistance had been extended through June 1st due to COVID. So that has ended for the year, but before you know it, it's going to be September and we'll be starting the new season. We're still waiting on guidance from the state and from the agency that processes our applications as to how to proceed with that. But again, we're going to try to continue as is to do as much as we can remotely or over the phone, and then have clients, pull up, stay in their car, call us, and we go out to them. And it's working. Let's see what else. Operation Fuels, one of our other programs that just ended. We had, so they have 2 seasons. So their winter/spring season just ended on June 12th. And we had 18 households receive grants from them, totaling $1,868.45. This, due to COVID, they actually increased the amount of grant from 500 to 1,000 per household, which is amazing. And they also are unfortunately decreasing the amount of fuel banks that they have, but we are luckily remaining as one of their partners. So that will reopen for their summer program in July. And currently we have one protective service for the elderly case. It's actually an elderly couple in town, and the application process for conservatorship is in the beginning stages. That's about it. Senior related.
Thanks, Allie. Just wanted to thank you for all of your efforts relating to the Royal, formerly known as Town Hall Homes. I have a good friend who recently got off the waiting list for that, and she's so excited. And in that microcosm of that one person, the joy you see of what this means to people to be able to go from her own home into a community again, where she is going to be the social butterfly there. It is just awesome to see her joy, and then you multiply that by the 50 plus others. It's truly extraordinary. So thanks for your good work on that.
You're welcome. One of our returning residents actually has her official move-in date of August 3rd, and she is, needless to say, ecstatic.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's right around the corner. So we're excited as well.
Yeah.
Great. Other questions for Allie, concerns? Hearing none.
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, it's Jennifer and Carla. We can't get on the computer, but we're on my phone, so
That's
we are
perfect.
attending.
Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Great. And so we've heard from Beth and from Allie. So now moving on to old business. Old business, of course, is predominantly COVID. You may have heard of the 3 governors who have banned visitors from now, I think, more than 20 states. So that's very interesting how that's going to be enforced. That is being challenged in court because folks from New Jersey who test positive can come to Connecticut or come to New York, but folks who are visiting Tennessee or Georgia or Florida or California or 17 other states can't. So it's going to be fascinating to watch the court process play out as to whether these governor's edicts will in fact ultimately be enforced. But that is the reality of where we are, and it's going to be fascinating of the question of the Interstate Commerce Clause and other things being affected by that. But if you find yourself going to one of those states, come back to Connecticut, quarantine for 14 days. That's where we're at. Peter, do you have stuff that you'd like to talk about old business?
I do, Joe. I have a number of things. Let's turn to AARP and the state of Connecticut first. I got an email last night, and I'll just read it to you. It's a short one. No update or new information about the civil immunity order. Again, that's to hold care facilities accountable. Legislators have been generally sympathetic when we've raised the issue with them, but everyone seems to be in agreement that absentee voting and policy accountability will be the only 2 issues that the General Assembly will address in July. There's rumors now of a special September session, and other issues may be taken up then. So again, all of us should continue to put our pressure on the legislators to say these are important issues, the cameras in the room, the immunity, and to keep the pressure up. So that's the latest there, Joe. Another ARP related item, if I might, the Andrus ARP is looking for candidates for the Andrus Award. Now that's an award won by every state by ARP for a volunteer. So if you know of a volunteer in your organization or any organization you work with, not just here in Darien, but Stanford or Norwalk, you might want to think about submitting their name. The Andrus Award winner gets to a gift, $3,000 to a not-for-profit of his or her choice. So it's so you don't get a big trophy or a party or anything else. You get a cash that you can't spend. I was lucky enough to get it in 2017, and I gave it to at home in Darien. But it's a good opportunity. So that's the ARP update. If I continue on the voting, it still looks like we're going to have a primary on Tuesday, August the 11th. The voters office were a bit concerned about poll workers not having enough, but I think they do have enough now, so they're planning on doing it. Some of the poll working, I think, will be very much counting ballots as well as actually processing face-to-face voters. So again, I would encourage everybody, again, just to enforce the democratic process at least, look at the primary, and if you can, take some type of an active role in it. Ongoing business, let me talk for a second about the library. The Darien Library is reopened. You can go to the first and second floor. It's just, Beth, I didn't go back naked, but I was ready to the library. It's well organized, and they're looking for people to come visit. So they haven't met they count how many people get in. They have a count, it's building again. The only thing is when you drop off books or videos, you've got to still do it on Saturday or Sunday remotely, so they have a chance to, I don't know, desanitize those books. Then the really important thing, I think, very specifically, is Thursday, July the 30th, from 2 to 4, there's going to be a celebration of Alan Gray's retirement. So Alan is going to retire. His retirement hasn't been postponed by COVID. The process for finding a replacement for him, as hard as that's going to be, is ongoing. But there's going to be a party in the courtyard 2 to 4. Mr. Softy's going to be there. And again, he's done so much for the library and for our community. I want to make sure we get as much word out on that as we can. That why don't you all come over and just celebrate him. He's often at the door, so when you go in, you have a chance to chat with him as well, because there's somebody at the door. Finally, the Museum of Darien is open and back in operation on a limited basis. They're starting to do some press releases. I guess the big thing there is they have a new, the Middlesex is a 24-foot whaleboat that is now on exhibition there. And again, they've relabeled themselves, they've repurposed themselves, and then they're in the midst of reopening. I just want to emphasize the point that Beth made. One of the things we really are dealing with AARP is, again, the isolation issue. There are so many people that we know that shouldn't be locked in their homes that, now want to be locked in their homes. And we've got to figure out ways to get them back out, back out. And I know Jean is not here today. I think she has a problem with one of her family. I think her dad is sick. But At Home in Darien is operating as it has. They offering the services, they do taxi rides. So At Home in Darien is functioning again and moving forward. And again, if you have an issue with them or you need to talk to them, they'll be glad to come outside the building as well to talk to you or deliver something. So again, like Allen Town Hall, it doesn't have to be in the office face-to-face contact.
Thank you, Peter. Appreciate it. I did a wedding earlier this week, and so I can report on what's going on at Town Hall. Town Hall remains kind of closed to everybody except employees. So if you're paying your taxes or you're doing something else, you'll come into the entrance by the gym, and there'll be then someone there to meet you. I'm the last person in America without a cell phone, so I had to ask that tax person to call the town clerk to come out and meet me so I could record my certificate of the wedding. But it's an interesting, very safe way of doing it. I think we will continue to monitor what's going on at Town Hall and with our people to determine what we do with our September meeting as to whether we do again a go-to-meeting call or whether we actually go back to room 119. We'll obviously be careful because many of our members are in fact seniors, and so I want to limit exposure for everybody to the extent we can. So most likely it will be a go-to meeting in September unless things radically improve, and we'll see where we go from there. Other old business?
Joe, Jim Metzger.
Sure.
This isn't specifically about the activities of the Blight Review Board, but based on your comment, we actually did have our last meeting last week in 119.
Oh, wow.
So we went through all of the hoops and jumped through all the hoops to get it done, and we wore masks through the whole meeting. But I think it's going to be more easy to do that in the future, and it was timely for us. We needed to get it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. Yeah, so we'll monitor for our September meeting as to whether it makes more sense for us to meet in room 119 or do it via the internet on GoToMeeting. We'll simply play it by ear and see where we go. Any other old business? Hearing none. Any new business? Hearing none. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Peter, thank you. Anybody else want to wave? Mary, thank you. Thanks, everybody. I will look forward to seeing you either in person or online in September. And I will look for that email from Beth, and then I'll send that along. And my phone's ringing, so I'll sign off. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.
You too. Thanks.